All right, we've got another interesting video that I want to look at, right? It's neckbeards are better than soy boys. Interesting. See, neckbeards. What about the full beard, actually, right? That would be me. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Here's the question, though. Here's the thing, though. Neckbeards can be shaved. Showers can be taken. Right? Hygiene can be improved, but soy is permanent. Anyways, we'll go in. I wonder what aesthetics waiting TV has to say. Link is usual in the description, as you guys know. Anyways, we'll go in. I wonder. I'm curious.
Neckbeards are superior to soy boys. Now, I used to be a neckbeard myself, and I want to stick up for my people. I think that neckbeards
I want to stick up for my people. Well, if you were one, you're no longer. So are they still your people? They're not my people. 'Cause I don't have a neckbeard. Maybe I'm like a spiritual one. Like, in my heart of hearts, I'm a neckbeard. I don't know. Something like that.
have a lot of positive things going for them. They have some obvious downsides and, short-sightedness that kind of, condemns them to a not so great life. But I think they're sincere. On the other hand, I don't think there's any redeeming qualities to soy boys, soy millennials, this type of archetype of person. I know that soy boys, like the soy millennial, like this type of person, they'll insist upon them being nerds, right? They consider themselves the nerds, and everybody else are these like stupid normies and whatever, right? They don't want to.
Oh god, Vosh. Oh, where's the lolly horse stuff? Where's it? Regardless, here's something interesting. I think the actual nerds, right? And I mean like actual nerds, right? A lot of people no longer know what that is, right? We're not talking about like, I think what we're talking about is like right? We're not talking about Tom wearing glasses and working in IT, right? Not that type of nerd. Like, I mean like nerds. I mean like guys who are very into like specific fiction media, right? They're painting their Warcraft figurines and stuff, right? Really into Star Wars, really into science fiction, right? Like that type, like people who are into actually like nerd stuff, right? Not people who are just smart. It doesn't work like that.
Admit that they're actually part of the normie machine themselves, whereas a neckbeard genuinely isn't. The reason why someone becomes a neckbeard, and I used to be one, so I can kind of
Bro, there's some difference here. There's some decent difference. Sure, yeah.
speak from a bit of experience here, is genuinely not caring what people think. Not in the kind of like joking around, just saying stuff to sound cool, like, but no, actually genuinely not caring what people think of you. And that's why, you don't cut your hair. That's why you don't, shave your beard. You just don't care. Like, it's in the most like elementary sense. Why doesn't a neckbeard cut his hair? Because it would take time out of playing Dota 2. A neckbeard,
Yeah, it's like genuinely not caring, right? It's like fake false degeneracy versus real and raw degeneracy. I don't know how to put it exactly. It's just interesting.
is operating on a pretty logical way of viewing the world. Like, you may disagree with the logic and correctly come to the assumption that their life would be better if they cared more about how they look, but for them, that's just how they are, right? Like, it's pretty fucking sincere. They're not trying to insist upon themselves. They're not trying to be something they're not. And these guys are pretty fucking cerebral. Like, if you speak to a neckbeard, they can tell you a lot of shit. Like, neckbeards, for all their faults, they actually know stuff. And that's because they're actually nerds. Like, these are guys that wouldn't have been part of the, the theater kid group of kids at high school. They would have been off in their own fucking corner doing their own thing, right? Like, they're not part of it, right? And on the other hand, those same theater kids that would have shunned, the neckbeards when they were kids at high school, they become the soy.
See, here's the thing, right? On one side, you have neckbeards, right? Pretty much, right? I don't like that term. They're just nerds at the end of the day. Um, actually like being into nerd stuff, and on the other side you have like people who like essentially, what's the word? I guess you could say tourist. It's like actual nerd versus tourist, right? Because a lot of these people, these soy boys, are essentially tourists. That's what they are, or culture vultures, as you would like to call it.
Millennial. They become the soy boy, right? Like that's who they evolve into. A soy boy is basically a theater kid that is pretending to be a nerd. And you can tell this because this soy archetype of person, whether it be a man or woman, I know I'm using boy a lot in this, but like, you know, we can apply this to women too. They essentially want the kudos of being a nerd without actually doing anything that a nerd would have done. You speak
Is there something as a romanticization of nerdiness, like nerds? Is that what? Because like I see a lot of women recently be like, "Oh, I want the nerd. I'm into nerds, like actual nerds." Yeah, to me about like Star Wars and stuff. It's like, do you really? Do you really want a nerd? And at this point, I'm like at a point where I'm like, I'm not just not believing it. That's just me, but I'm not believing it.
to someone soy about like any like esoteric topic and they don't really know anything. They really don't know much about the world. Like they have a very limited frame of reference. Their entire worldview essentially comes from what they were taught in high school. That's why they constantly call everything, you know, a Nazi or comparing things to slavery, because it's like the two subjects that were taught about history. They don't know anything about anything else. They couldn't tell you about the Weimar Republic. They couldn't tell you about, you know, anything outside of slavery that wasn't a specific point of time in the transatlantic slave trade. They couldn't tell you about any of the other occurrences of slavery that was
Yeah, they
rightful.
can't, for example, they can't talk about the Arabic slave trade, right? They can't talk about the sub-Saharan slave trade, right? They just look like no white on black and that's it, which is really interesting. But then again, that's not just the soy, quote unquote, soy boys. That's just like a general sentiment that people don't even know about these. Like, people don't know about like the sub-Saharan slave trade. People don't know that Muslim pirates essentially grabbed white people and just put them like turned them into slaves. It's really interesting. People don't know that.
Throughout history. No, but they can tell you about this one specific thing and they compare everything to that because that's what they were taught in high school. So a soy millennial, a soy boy, they're often average IQ. They're not very remarkable when it comes to intellect and, you know, structuring out sentences and thoughts. They're pretty fucking basic and simple. Why? Because they're theater kids. They're not nerds. Now, they may wear the you know, the most superficial aspects of being a nerd, like the I hecking love science t-shirts, like that kind of thing, right? But they won't really be in it. They're not really fucking in it. And a lot of their identity is extremely superficial. There's not really any substance or sincerity to it. Whereas a neckbeard, you know,
A lot of it is surface knowledge on their quote unquote hobbies, right? A lot of it is surface knowledge, which is really interesting, right? I've never thought about this now that much, right? But a lot of it is. I wonder. It's essentially just nerd culture has been co-opted because a lot of stuff that was mainstream now is mainstream. I think one of the most particular things you see is definitely anime, where you definitely see and feel it. Most certainly, there's so many tourists and people that don't belong there, right? It's crazy.
for all their faults and, you know, all the cringe things they do, at least they're being fucking real. But a soylenial is someone that is hyper socialized and they do things to fit in. They say, you know, they repeat what the man on TV is saying. They get their opinions from Reddit.
Exactly. The redditors. That's pretty much what it is, right? At the end of the day, they're all redditors. It's just funny. He makes a good point here. He makes a good point. There's like people are actually, they're essentially basically, if you want to, I hate using that word, but they're practically just grifters.
The only frame of reference for the world came from what they were taught in high school and then later college. And that's fucking it. They don't really have a great understanding of how the world works or could really tell you much about the world outside of the very limited perspective that they were told. It's the lens in which they view everything in life, right? But they can't imagine that there's more to politics than not and people on their side. Like they just
What's the similarity between Nazis and Luxembourg? They speak about skulls, I guess. True, right? On like the picture next to me, that's what it is. That's what it is. But like, yeah, there's no connection to it, which is interesting.
just their frame of reference for the world is so fucking limited, right? Whereas you can't say that about a neckbeard. You see a neckbeard, you don't know what the fuck his politics are. Like, he could be, you know, far right, far left, anarcho-communist, anarcho-capitalist. You have no fucking idea. Like, the neckbeard truly thinks for himself. And again, you'll probably disagree with him, right? Like, you speak to him about whatever, you'll be like, I'm not sure about that take. But it's
Should the government be mandated to provide you a girlfriend? 45 likes, 2 dislikes. That can't be a real picture or a real video. If it is, that'd be peak. I don't think so.
obvious that the neckbeard is more likely to think for himself, right? And say something that is actually kind of original and new. Not so much for the soylennial, not so much for the soy boy. When has a soy boy ever said anything that surprised you?
I mean, they use similar talking points the entire time, right? They just regurgitate what others have already said, oftentimes. But then again, they sometimes can have good takes. Sometimes.
Never. They never have a new take. They never have a take you haven't heard before. And that's what I'm getting at. They are hyper socialized. They think they're rebellious. They think they're so unique and quirky, but they're not.
I'm rebellious. I listen to everything the government says.
They're not. Like, they're so dime a dozen. Like, everyone on Reddit thinks like them. Everyone in a HR department thinks like them. They are really fucking dime a dozen and way more conformist than they want to believe. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Regardless, what I want to say. Yes. So practically, to summarize this whole thing, right? To summarize it, neckbeards are based and soyboys are not? Is what I got from this? Possibly? Perhaps? Maybe? Most certainly? I don't know. It's just interesting. I'd say that at least I think that having your own opinions is better than just having like copy pasting everything. I think that's important. And also, like, again, I think like nerds have been very much romanticized, but people don't actually know what a nerd is anymore, right? He's like, everyone's, oh, I do this thing. I'm a nerd. No, you're not. You need a little more qualifications in the nerd ranking. I don't know. Regardless, anyways, thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.